Hi there, Cancerians. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl, and we are looking at July 13 through July 19, and it's going to be an extremely emotional week, probably the most emotional week for you, and that's because you've got the Sun, Mercury, Mars, and a new moon in your sign this week, which is a lot of heavy hitters, and the new moon is the start of your, new year. And so you need to be able to grasp that and enjoy it, but you may feel as if other signs, Scorpios, Pisces, Capricorns, are leaning on you just a little bit too much. So if there's any way you can get them to back off a little bit, it's probably for the best. Now, Cancerians, this week is an emotional pressure cooker with 6 planets in vulnerable water signs, an emotional new moon in your sign, and a worrisome opposition. Luckily, there's also a stabilizing trine and a temporary assignment for Venus that's going to help calm the storm. Pluto, which is the planet that is no longer a planet, as in quite a while ago, NASA decided Pluto was no longer a planet, is scheduled to make the news Monday, July 13, when the NASA spacecraft New Horizons flies near the planet that's no longer a planet after a 9.5-year journey. At this point, we can only imagine what information the spacecraft will send back to Earth. The emotional climax of the week comes Wednesday, July 15. When 6 planets, the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Mars in Cancer, Saturn in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, will be in an emotional water sign, so watch out for tears and fears. Wednesday is also the day the Cancer new moon marks the beginning of a fertile 2-week period of growth. This new moon is carrying a lot of baggage with it. On Wednesday, Mars and Pluto are also involved in a face-off guaranteed to weigh down any startup plan. And Mercury doesn't help things when it gets in on the act Thursday, July 16. It's already been a hard slog to get up to full aggressive speed, with Mars an emotionally defensive Cancer. But this double face-off between Mercury, Mars, and Pluto is a huge red light if you're planning to start something new this month. While you're waiting for the light to change and for things to change next week, don't forget to stay hydrated, get lots of exercise, and try not to go off the deep end, because really, this is very unusual to have, 6 major planets in water signs. It kind of upsets the status quo if you think that, there's only 12 signs and, everyone's split up into earth, air, fire, water. Well, out of all of them, water's probably the most powerful in that it can put out fire and it can, flood earth, and, it's heavier than air. So I think that right now you have a lot of power, Cancerians. It's a matter of you channeling it into the right areas, because this is a time you could make great leaps and bounds. While you're waiting for the light to change next week, don't forget, as I said, don't forget to stay hydrated. And with the Cancer moon and Saturn will help to stabilize the general atmosphere. There's another short but welcome reprieve Saturday, July 18, when Venus makes a temporary sign change from dramatic Leo to quiet and reasonable Virgo. Now, the upside of that is that's just for the last week of July, and then Venus backtracks into Leo and goes out of phase for all of August and the first week of September. So we're really hitting the halfway mark, hitting it hard. We're really seeing some extraordinary planetary activity, and we'll get through it. And it's going to be interesting, and it's going to give us all a bit of a jolt, which is what we need. Thanks for the call, Cancerians. Great speaking to you. Look after yourself, and I'll speak to you again next week.